Daniel Brian Knowlton. Why should people stick around for this episode?
Well, why with the random names?
It's just your name.
So we've got a bit of a secret. You know those campaigns we run for world-leading brands that generate millions in sales?
Yeah.
They're not actually all original.
What?
They're not all original campaigns that we've come up with.
What?
We get... Shut up. We get inspiration from lots of different places.
Do we?
Yes, we do, Lloyd.
Good.
And I want us to talk with the anchors and share some of those places where we get inspiration from so they can start to get ideas for campaigns that generate millions in sales like we deliver for some of the world's leading brands.
When you said you had a secret, I thought you were going to tell them about the other secret.
What's that secret?
Dan's not a single man anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know, anchors.
Yeah.
He's not available.
I got married.
He did. And do you know what? Dan said to me, Lloyd, on Friday the 24th of May, are you available? I said, I'm not sure. He said, because I'm going to secretly get married. And I said, of course I'm available. You know, I'd cancel anything to be available on that day. And he said, oh, great. Can you babysit the kids? Because I wasn't invited to the wedding, everyone. Okay.
Right. Let me just clarify a couple of things.
Imagine that. Are you available to babysit?
Other than 2 witnesses, no one was invited to the wedding. Okay.
And I'm happy for those witnesses that they got to enjoy it, Dan.
Yeah, well, it wasn't anything special. I really wouldn't get too disheartened.
Christelle, did you hear that? Wasn't anything special.
In my but just for context, everyone, I've been engaged for 8 years. And
left her waiting a long time, and then it wasn't anything special.
Well, no. Oh, here we go. No, but you know, normally when someone gets married, it's a declaration of their love for the person. I'm going to stay with you forever. I've already got 2 kids and a mortgage. I'm already 100%
do you want a shovel for that hole you're digging, mate? Anyway,
had a lovely
Dan, that is definitely enough for a clip for us to put online. Okay? Thank you very much.
Oh,
listen to the Business Anchors podcast.
If you're not watching, Christelle.
And let me know if you're invited. I don't know what it's like.
So, going back to where we get inspiration from, that story has inspired me to talk about something, Lloyd.
Okay, good.
It's inspired me to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think the difference is between stealing and getting inspiration from? Because as I said, a lot of what we do isn't totally original.
Yeah.
And we've spoken to people before. Actually, I remember being in Ibiza and we told a guy there, we were like, we got inspired by this cool video. And he's like, but did you ask them for permission?
Yeah. And I was shocked by the question here. It's like, you spoke about that thing. You were inspired by that TikToker. Did you get their permission to use that? And I thought
that was a weird question.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's weird. Why would we ask them? Because in my point of view...
Well, it made me feel a bit defensive because I was kind of thinking, what, he's trying to accuse us of stealing something?
Yeah. It was made Dan defensive like he was a couple of minutes ago.
Move away from that.
And yeah, I was just... Because in my eyes, there are no original ideas. Like, we're inspired by so many different things in the world. So if you're writing a script for a TV show, you're inspired by your favourite TV shows in the past. Or if you're painting a picture, you're inspired by art that you've seen in the past or by a song that you've heard. You get inspiration from all these different places. So in my eyes, I was kind of like, well, no, we made an advert for our marketing agency and it was inspired by a TikToker making content for his audience, and it's a completely different thing.
For context, basically, it was a TikToker called Jack Joseph, and he does this parody called GCSE Drama, a GCSE drama parody, basically taking the piss out of what it was like when you were at drama and at GCSE level. And we made a parody that was like GCSE drama class makes an advert for a marketing agency. So it was this similar style, but it was a completely different...
Do you know where I think the difference is from like stealing and being inspired by?
Go on.
So I think Jack Joseph would not give a shit that we've been inspired by him and then made like a video for our business, because he's not bothered about a random marketing agency in Kent making that content. If one of our closely competing marketing agencies made this GCSE drama video, and then we saw it and we were like, let's do that next week. I think, although I don't think that's stealing, I think that's where what I would shy away from, that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Because I think, that's just a bit out of order. Like they're our competition and we're just copying their ideas. Whereas when you're getting inspiration from completely different places, there's no negative effect from it. It's just you're being inspired by other places to do well in whatever you're doing. That would be I know people might disagree, but that's what I think.
Do you know, I agree with you. And do you know what I've noticed? Right, you know, we always shout about brands like Surreal.
Yeah.
Right, because they do really cool marketing campaigns that go viral. Everyone shouts on, this is amazing, this is amazing. And we do as well. None of their ideas are original.
Yeah, I've noticed that recently.
So there's been a number of people that have pointed this out, specifically with companies like Surreal. So I'll give you a couple of examples. So one of their most viral campaigns where they basically did out-of-home advertising that said a famous person's name loves Surreal. And it was, I had an asterisk. Like, it was like, Serena Williams loves Surreal. It's her favourite cereal. And then the asterisk says, it's not the real Serena Williams.
Not that Serena
They
Williams.
found someone else called Serena Williams. There's been tons of brands that have done that. Lidl have done that. Burger King did that. McDonald's did that. There was all these examples of brands that have done that, you know, in the past 20 years. Like literally that exact concept, but it was obviously the creative was a bit different and delivered in a different way. But it's already an idea.
I think you've got to give Surreal credit because they do things very well, and they improve upon a lot of things, and they execute ideas very well. So although other people have done it, you know, they might have done it 10 times better because of the way they've executed it.
Did you see, I'll give you another example, Surreal, their recent one, I don't know if you saw it, where they had a big out of home sign and they basically had like a platform on the out of home sign where two guys in suits sat on it with a megaphone, and the sign was like, speak to our sales team about the new flavour. Right. And they were there going, hello, do you want to talk about the new flavour, with the megaphone? I was like, oh, that is actually really creative. It's been done by tons of brands. Right, like someone, again, did a LinkedIn post. Look at this example of Oatly doing it. Look at so, and I'm not shitting on them because I genuinely think they're super creative and their execution is really good. But it just goes to show, like, even the top tier brands that we're all like, these are amazing. They are getting inspired by something they've seen and they're doing their own variation of it and executing it very well. And I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I also saw, just on the final point of the difference between kind of stealing and getting inspired by, I saw a video that this guy on Instagram did. He's called like viralvideo.me or something like that on Instagram. I can't remember his exact name. But he did a video on this and he said that a video has a number of different elements to it. There's like the hook, the format, the style, the script, there's all the different elements that make up a video, and you can emulate elements of like the theme of the video, but deliver it with a different hook and a different topic and a different style. If you literally, all of the different elements of video, you completely copy and you look, it's a carbon copy of someone else's, that's kind of stealing. Whereas what you've said, Lloyd, is getting inspiration from other areas and other people outside of your industry, like we do. You can then take elements of the video, not all of the different elements, but some of those, and then we can then apply it to what we're doing. For
example, that GCSE drama video, there were no similarities in the script or anything. It's not like lines in that video that we've gone, let's use that. It was completely original script. You know, the theme of the video was similar, that we're taking the mickey out of a GCSE drama video. But other than that, everything about the execution was completely different.
Yeah. So going on to like some of the specific places now of where we get inspiration from, we've kind of touched on TikTok. We've spoken about getting inspiration from places like Jack Joseph. Something else that I don't know if I've told you the full story of this. The team got inspiration to create a TikTok where they pranked me whilst you were away.
Yes.
Did you hear about this?
Whilst I was away? No.
I don't think you were here.
No, okay.
So this really got me. So basically, I'm not going to give names of people to reveal too many things, but we've got a client who had a strong relationship for like 5 years. And I've built up a really strong relationship with the main person there. And when we've got the campaign running, every week I have a phone call with this person and we talk about our life and we're like really good friends and stuff. And built this really strong relationship over years. And I really like this person. So what the team pranked me with, they set up cameras and they got one of their dads to ring up the work phone. And then they answered it as if it was this person. And they said the person's name, hello, so-and-so, how can I help you? So I sort of picked up, I was like, oh, it's my guy. And then they were like, I'm not being funny. You keep ringing us and it's really doing my head in. Can you stop ringing us? And I was like, I I've never felt anything like it. I felt sick. I was thinking they would never speak to anyone like that. Why would they do that? And they filmed the whole thing on my reaction. And it took me a good 30 seconds because they were being really rude to this person. And then they put the phone down. I was like, that was not real, was it? And then they burst out laughing. And it was genuinely upset me. But they got inspired. The reason I'm telling that story is they got inspired because that's a trend on TikTok. You prank your boss. Have they not pranked? Have you been pranked here yet at all or not?
Well, everyone makes me jump all the time.
Yes.
But that's because that's really easy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. Yeah, they always do stuff to me.
Like no. What did they do a minute ago?
They put it doesn't even make sense. Put a root system from a plant in my coffee to make me think it was going mouldy. That's what that weird thing was described as, a root system. Apparently, they just put cotton wool balls in all of my stuff. So like, I had a hat on my desk, and when I picked it up, they all fell out. When I went to put my headphones on, they all fell out of there. They quite often do things like that to me. Yeah.
So you're really respected in the workplace.
Yeah, really respected and bullied in the workplace. Yes.
So yeah, TikTok is a great place to get inspiration from. As we said, there's trends, pranking your boss. Yeah. There's
pranking your boss.
Inspiration from creators like Jack Joseph. This is the key thing with TikTok. If you are an accountant, don't search accountants on TikTok and get inspired by them. Just look for cool creators, stuff you're interested in, sports people. Yeah. Influencers who are talking about different topics and different themes.
So I'm going to go in a different direction. TikTok, you're like, well, cool and that. So you're talking about TikTok, right? Whereas I am not cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've noticed.
Yep, I noticed.
Like if you say you put in a list together, who am I going to invite to my wedding? Like I would be at the bottom. Like not.
Well, you would
cool.
be on the list. You weren't on the list.
No, you wouldn't put me on the list. So I'm talking about getting inspiration from outdated platforms. So,
is this a real one or is this a joke one?
This is the real one.
Okay, go on.
Why?
No, because I can imagine this is some long-winded joke.
My point is so shit that it can't be a real one.
No, man.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So, going back to the GCSE drama thing. Sorry, there's a bit of fluff. I was just doing a weird arm movement if you're watching.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, we've got inspiration from this TikToker. We had comments saying, that's from Legs Akimbo, was it?
Oh, yes.
It's like some old TV show, a Legs Akimbo sketch. I still don't really know what it is.
From TV, because I watched that. I remember seeing that.
So we were saying about stealing. Oh, should we steal Jack Joseph? Is that stealing?
But his GCSE drama sketch was stolen from
this old TV show.
Yeah.
If you're saying it's stolen, or inspired by, if you're saying inspired by. And this is something that I think is really clever and could have been what Jack Joseph's done. So if you're on social platforms now, it's like there's stuff from TV shows from like the 1980s that are hilarious, or ads that really resonated with an audience, and they were done for 80s TV. And it's kind of like now you can be inspired by that and be like, this has never been done on TikTok, or like, this could be an Instagram reel, but it was an old 80s TV ad, and we could communicate in this, or it had this great hook at the start of the video that would get attention, and now we could use that in our content, or great comedy sketch, and we could use that to keep to keep the viewers on TikTok engaged. So, I just think there's this like lifetime supply of inspiration from the past, and that's why I'm not cool, because I'm looking back rather than forward. But
what would you so just trying to apply that practically, because that sounds really cool. So like, are you like watching videos at home, VHF videos of old things? No, but I'm thinking, for example, I remember that really funny scene in Extras, the Ricky Gervais show. I'm going to watch that on YouTube, because I think there's a funny element that like we could kind of do something similar to. And I'll watch that. Now that's not an 80s TV show. That's like early 2000s or something. Yeah. But you can look that up and be like, oh yeah, that's what they did. They did that kind of thing. Can that work in this video that we're creating? Or even a funny line. Like, there's that really witty way that he said this and then she said that. Could we do a similar kind of interaction in this? So there's elements that you can... I like that, because you're on that same theme of getting inspiration from other places that aren't like just stealing another marketing agency's marketing campaign idea. Yeah. You're like getting inspiration from something else and then applying it to what we're doing. Yeah. So there's just like there's so much work, brilliant work people done in the past, and I think actually
there's brilliant inspiration.
I definitely think you do that with your script writing.
Yeah, 100%.
You contribute to some of our really creative scripts, and you add little bits that are really good.
Definitely. Sometimes there's just like one line or jokes in something I see, and I just think, oh, I'd love to put something like that in something. And, you know, you find the opportunity, you're like, yeah, that was hilarious. That was really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking, I remember, what was it in there? We did the parody, the Diary CEO parody. And there was a couple of like one-liners in there that I definitely feel like you got inspired from other places. Where it builds up and then he go, what did he say?
He does say, stupid fat hobbit.
Yeah.
I think that is directly from someone calls himself a stupid fat hobbit.
Is that from, it's not from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, actually, I think it is. I think, is it Gollum? No, yeah. Gollum.
He's nodding.
Stupid fat hobbit. And
we include that in an Elton video.
I think I just throughout my life, if I do something stupid, have just said that to myself. And I just, for some reason, I find it funny. And then it ended up as a line in a video.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like lines that you find funny or interactions that you think, oh, that's a really cool way. Or they've told that story really well. And like one day I'll think of where that can be used in our marketing or in our videos and that type of thing.
Talking of videos, one of the places I get a lot of inspiration, which you kind of touched on it with the extras thing, is YouTube. Because like you say, whenever you think of these old things, I watched a movie back in, or I saw this thing, basically someone's ripped off and put it on YouTube or elements of it. So you can always go back and think, I'm going to search that. But I also get inspiration from YouTube by searching like good ads. There's always like playlists of cool, interesting, unique ads just from the last like 50 years. Even an old Nike one I saw the other day of this 70-year-old that runs like half marathon every day. It was really cleverly done. There's little bits of inspiration you can get.
There's like international ads from like other countries that people in the UK have never seen, but you can be inspired by.
There was the French one. There was the French
clown
wardrobe.
Yeah, just saying random words.
The French wardrobe ad.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Where
we're still just shouting French wardrobe.
No, sorry. It's just piecing together in my mind.
Yeah.
A guy. There's an ad for a wardrobe company. Is it? He's in.
I don't know, and I don't think it's relevant, Dan.
Okay. Anyway, he gets stuck in a wardrobe and he goes through this whole process, and then eventually he's hiding in the wardrobe because he's sleeping with someone's wife, and it's like a comedic thing that takes you through this whole build up. And
Dan was inspired to sleep with someone's wife from that advert. That's where he got his inspiration.
No. And we saw that. So this French ad from YouTube. We then created our own version where this is where the clown comes in, where Lloyd was dressed in a clown costume on in Cliftonville on the seafront, and you were chasing me.
Relevant.
You were chasing me, and then the whole video is like this clown chasing me, build it up, and then in the end, I run into the office and get knocked, and then there's a spelling mistake on a document I'm producing, and then it cuts to, and that's why there was a spelling mistake in the campaign that we delivered. Yeah. There's that whole build up.
I mean, I wrote the script for the video and I've seen it, and even I don't understand what Dan just said. But, you can go back to the old Knowlton videos and see that.
The key points here are, it was hilarious watching Lloyd in a full clown costume when it was the hottest day of the year, running down the beach.
It's made of like plastic. It was horrible.
Yeah. But that was fun. And it worked really well. So get inspiration from YouTube. It's still one of the best places we get inspiration from.
Yeah.
I've got some more, Lloyd.
Can I just say one more?
Yeah, go on.
Mine's really, really a short point, and then I'll go back to yours. Something that I found really useful is getting inspiration from my passions, which sounds not. You'll look at me like I'm talking like sexual, passionate stuff, things like that.
Right.
I don't even know what that is. Just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so like things that you're really into. You know, like for example, we've got someone on our team called Taylor.
Don't know.
Now Taylor has things that he's very into, and he'll know every line or like funny meme to do with that thing, and he'll be able to quote it. And I don't know why I use Tay as an example, but for example, another example that makes sense. I like gardening and growing vegetables. Business Anchors listeners know that. And there's inspiration that I got for content. There's this guy that started off this really small YouTube video doing gardening videos, And then I saw that he started creating his own gardening products and then was selling them on his channel and stuff like that. And he was doing it in a really cool way. And that's something that I was like, this is a really niche guy that I know about, but other people don't. And he's like making millions off of this product he's done. And I was looking at how he's done it and the strategies he's used. And I just think anything that you're like super into, like you're the top 0.01% of knowledge in that area. Other people in the world probably haven't seen that creator or that video or that niche film that you're into, and so getting inspirations from places like that are often useful because other people have never heard of it or seen it, and it's a bit of a weird idea, but
I like that. I was just instantly thought of you talking about passions. Lloyd now talks as if he's well into paddle. If anyone's heard of paddle, he's literally had one game.
Paddle?
And he's telling everyone, I'm just going to go play paddle with my mates on Friday. And I was thinking, did you get any inspiration from playing paddle? Because that's a passion. What inspiration have you got from that?
That is a new passion of mine. I mean, I've currently played 3 times and love it more than I love my family.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty big passion of mine. No inspiration from that.
Okay.
No.
Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
Another place that I get a lot of inspiration from is Netflix. So, have you got Netflix? Have you heard of Netflix?
I've heard of Netflix. Is that kind of like Blockbuster?
Well, actually, what is it? Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster. No, Blockbuster. Yeah. Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster. Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster, but it failed. But no, Netflix, Lloyd. If you remember, it used to be Love Film. You used to use that service.
I did, yeah.
You got a DVD in the post.
Yeah.
Now it's a streaming service with lots of great content on.
I think I might have heard of it.
And there's one example. I don't actually think one of our team is a program called Auntie Donna. And they do this sketch where they are... Maybe you explain this, Lloyd, because you're better explaining things. What they're interviewing...
Oh, you just set up a point that you're making. I have no idea about, and then ask me to explain it after saying blah, 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 blah.
You complained about how I explained the last point. You complained about how I explained the last point.
Okay. Auntie Donna. Are you talking about the sketch where they are doing a job... they're doing an interview?
Yes.
So there is a good sketch where they're interviewing for a new housemate, and it starts off quite normal, and they're listing... people that are coming in for an interview, and then the people that are kind of calling in, they're gradually getting more comedic and weird, and it goes across the table and shows these different characters, and they say funny lines. The sort of thing that you definitely have to see to understand or find entertaining.
Yeah.
Not the sort of thing you would want a below par podcaster to explain to you.
But the point you do want to understand about this from a marketing perspective and getting inspiration is that we got inspiration from that creator own sketch, which did very well. And there's lots of shows on Netflix. You've spoken to me before about, was it Peep Show and stuff that you watch and you get inspiration for that for some of the campaigns you run for brands? Yeah.
Yeah, pass the baton to me again about Netflix, Dan. So I don't think Peep Show's on Netflix. But you're right.
Other streaming services are available.
I have had inspiration from that too. One of our most successful videos in about 2017, I think it was something like 5 shit things to do at networking or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was filmed in a way that was from the perspective, I think that was from Peep Show, and that works really well. That got us a lot of extremely small, low-paying clients in 2017. But we all started somewhere.
I've got one more place that we get inspiration from, and I've got a story that kind of ties in, but I just want to tell it about Lloyd because it's really weird. But the final place to get inspiration from is events. We go to a lot of events now. We speak to lots of cool people who are sharing cool stuff that they're doing with their companies, and it's a great place to get inspiration from and learn about what other people are doing. On the note of events, the last event Lloyd and I went to was in London. I think it was an agency hackers comedy night. And do you remember what you did on the way home and in the room, Lloyd?
On the way home and in the room?
Yeah.
I'd had a couple of drinks at that one. I can't
remember.
Lloyd had
a couple of drinks. On the way home, we were trying to find somewhere to get food. Couldn't find anywhere. So we found a shop that was open, a convenience store that was open. And what would be a small convenience store, the last thing you'd want to buy in a small convenience store?
So like a kind of corner shop that looks a bit run down, probably doesn't have the best food safety standards. I'll tell you what I'd probably buy, Dan. I'd probably buy a little carton of octopus.
So Lloyd, I get just bog standard like plain sandwich or something, thinking, this is a bit iffy. Lloyd gets this wet octopus in a pot and plonks it on the counter, and I'm like,
oily.
Why, Lloyd? Why are you doing that? He's like,
it was also,
like
I think it was expensive.
It was £8.
Yeah, I know that's not like, I've got £8, but it seemed a lot for a tiny pot of oily octopus.
We get back to the room. Lloyd's munching down on his oily octopus.
Gobbling octopus tentacles.
He's also got a flatbread. And I eat my sandwich on the bed. I look over to Lloyd, and to my disgust, Lloyd's got the flatbread and he's scooping the oil off the hotel room table, like mopping it up. Like you do if you've got gravy and stuff. And I was like, "What, Lloyd? That's a hotel table. What are you doing?" And I obviously thought he was mopping it up to eat it, but apparently your defense, I still don't believe this. Your defense was that you were just cleaning the table. You were going to eat that. You were going to eat that.
Definitely.
You 100% swear on your life.
I don't remember my exact, but I think I wasn't going to eat it. So, right, in my defense, I had the 6-pack of flatbreads. I think I'd already eaten all my octopus with 1 or 2 of them. And then because I was an absolute mess, I'd had octopusy oil all over the table. And I thought, well, I don't have kind of anything to clean this with, so I'll just use the leftover flatbread. So I was like,
I glance over.
Up. But yeah, obviously Dan at that point sees me like mopping up this horrible table with octopus oil and thinking I'm just going to shove that in my mouth. But
there was a bit of you that was going to do that.
I don't think there was any part of me that wanted. I need a few more drinks to. I do. Angie's dad, Jeff. Oh, I was going to say his full name, which is a weird thing to do on a podcast. Anyway. Someone's dad, maybe called Jeff, he used to go away to work and he used to stay in a travel lodge for like 3 or 4 nights a week for a while. And I would say, Jeff, I really like you and you've been very generous to me in the past, but sometimes a bit tight. Doesn't want to spend money.
For himself?
Yeah, for himself. That's what I mean. He's very he'll buy you a drink stuff, but he's careful with his money. Yeah. And rather than I'm going to put it out there, Jeff, I think you had a pretty decent job that was well paid. But he would bring pitters from home to a travel lodge, and he had some kind of system where he would cook them on the iron.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would grill them on the iron to have pitters in his travel lodge hotel room, rather than I'm guessing you could probably go to a Wetherspoons down the road and spend £7 and get a meal. But he had this whole routine where he'd boil things in kettle, have something he could do with that, and then
put your pot noodle in a kettle.
He'd have his iron in a certain way that he knew he could do in his travel lodge room as a grill, and he had some proper recipes going on. So I would say I wouldn't do that. I would mop up to clear up, but not.
We've stayed in a few interesting hotels, so sorry tangent, but whenever Lloyd and I rock up to a hotel, they always give us a funny look, don't they? Well, not a funny look, but an interesting look.
Well, they just think Mr. and Mr. Knowlton turn up.
And you see they sort of glance at you. Okay.
Then I think they're always trying to work out, is this a couple?
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. But when it's your brother, I'm obviously thinking, no, I'm not with him because he's a bloody dickhead.
So we have to tell them.
Yeah, so we have to tell them. And quite often we get given double beds. I think when we tell them, they're like, sure, yes, sir, I believe you. And then we go, then it's a double bed. And we have to say, no, honestly, can we have 2 single beds, please? And then they normally do it eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Enough. I don't know how. I think we just got on to eating octopus in a hotel room because you wanted to tell people I was going to mop up the oil from a table and eat it.
But hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, Anchors, and hopefully you've enjoyed getting some different places that you can get inspiration from.
I mean, I'm sure now they hear about that octopus story, they'd be so inspired by me.
Yeah.
And the great things I do in my life.
To mop up that octopus juice off a hotel room table.
Lovely.
So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Subscribe wherever you are.
Yeah.
And come back next week and we will see
you in your ears
next
week.